What is up, everybody? This is Eric, the one and only Barrett Collector, and today I am doing my June 2024 video game haul. This month I actually got games that I had ordered from last month that came this month. And I bought a few this month, but I don't think. Well, yeah, I did get a few, but they were just games that I got last month. So technically speaking, this month wasn't as a big purchase as before in the last couple of months. But anyways, as always, I begin with the digital download purchases or games that I got digitally. And I got 6 for the Steam. First game that I got was the Benza RPG. This is basically the Benza RPG is actually, apparently this is like a famous group of individuals that do this, that have these games, let me go in here. So it's basically, the quest to fix a broken toilet seat and save the world. So it looked very comical, and the gameplay of the game reminds me a lot of it's like a Game Boy style gameplay of it. Let me see if I can get you. Let me see the store page, because I actually got it for free. Yeah, it's basically an RPG. Interesting when they have that. So it's not a Game Boy style, but it's it's a regular RPG style game. And it looked pretty interesting and fun. And I guess this series has other games for it. But yeah, this is one of the ones that I got. The other game is Moonlight Witch. This one was also free. This one is actually this one's actually like a novel, like a first-person novel game, based in school, that you're trying to get the girl that you love, or try to make it out alive. That's interesting. So yeah, the story seemed very interesting in the gameplay. So it's one of those select your choices and whatnot for this game, and it was free. The next one is My Singing Monsters. Now this one, of course, is that very popular game that's on on iPhones and on cell phones and whatnot. My son's a big fan of that game, so I got it for him because he saw that it came out on the Steam console. So I got it, and yeah, and I like the game. It's okay. Basically, you collect monsters to make music, and that's pretty much what it is. This one right here, it is Space Runaway, or what is it called? Space Runaway. It's a shooter, of course. Remember the Space Runway, yeah. So it's like a bullet hell shooter. Very reminiscent. Kind of reminds me of it reminded me a little bit of the one that I got before regarding what's it called? Volkaiser. I bought it on Steam before. So yeah, it reminds me a lot of that, and it looks pretty fun. And then what other game did I get for this one? I got Test Into the Vortex. This is an RPG game. Let me just go to the store. It's better because it gives you the information. So it's I guess after performing a mock ritual in the 2017 Halloween podcast, Baron von Flanagan unknowingly unleashed a power long since sealed and thrusted all of Test Town into another dimension. So basically, I believe that this is also part of another series of games. And it's an RPG. Very reminiscent. This one reminds me a lot of kind of like the Final Fantasy style, but more modern. Final Fantasy mixed with what's it called? Mother, which is Earthbound. So it gives me that kind of look of game style. Looks pretty interesting, and I believe it was free. All of these games were free. I don't know, as of the making of this video, when I bought them, they were free. And then finally, this one. This one, Treachery in Beatdown City, You in Trouble. This one is like an action beat 'em up. You play as Blake Orama on his way to the UN to meet and you meet terrible people in a beat 'em up style, kind of similar to River City Ransom. This game, Very interesting. This one's also free. And it looked pretty fun. See, kind of like River City Ransom, where you do, you get stats raised with kind of RPG style elements. So it looked really good. Is that Bill Clinton? Looks like it. I don't know, but it looks really fun, and the very interesting story, and it looks really fun. So those were my games that I got for my digital downloads. Let me turn my Steam Deck down. That's what I got this month. And now on to the games that I bought, the physical games. Like I mentioned, some of these games I bought last month and they arrived this month, so I counted them for this month. One of those games is Kablooey for the SNES. This is basically a puzzle game. Where you go around the islands and you blow pieces of the islands off. Looked really fun. And yeah, got it for a decent price. A lot of these games I got it for a decent price overall. So yeah, that's a good thing. Next are a game that I ordered last month. One of the games that I ordered last month. It's actually a homebrew game. Of course, this game, you can say it's a repro. And this one is Life on Earth for the Sega Genesis. This is basically a 2D side-scrolling platformer where you play as a scientist who she gets infected by this virus that was released from Mars, that came from a Mars expedition, and she's trying to she found out a cure, but at the same time she got infected, and she's trying to reach a certain area before she gets consumed by it. Really, really fun game. I played it a little bit, and it's kind of like it reminds me a lot of Rolling Thunder style play. It's a fun game. It's a repro. Okay, this is weird. It worked on of course it worked on my original hardware, my Genesis, and it worked on my Retron 5. But then at one point I tried playing it on it again, and it didn't work. Now I also tested it. I have an At Games console. This one didn't work on my At Games console, and it worked on my Retron 5. And I'll share more info on that. Next games are also a set of repro games that I got on eBay for a really cheap price, and I got a game for free. First, the one that I actually intended to buy was Super Bubble Bobble for the Mega Drive. Basically, it's Bubble Bobble, like the original Bubble Bobble game, but you play as Bubble Bobble or 3 other famous characters from Japanese anime. I think one of them is Crayon Shin-chan, the other one is Doraemon, and I forgot who the other character was. The third, it's not his partner, which is weird. It's another one. I forgot who the other character was. But you play as those characters, and it's of course it's Bubble Bobble, and it's fun. And so the guy who sold me that game gave me this surprise game for free, and it's really cool because I don't own it, and it's for the Genesis, Ninja Turtles Hyperstone Heist. So yes, and these two worked on my Retron 5. They also worked on my At Games console, so it worked really good. Yeah. Of course, everything worked on my original hardware, but I want to say that those particular games worked on that. And then this month I visited GameStop a couple of times, but my first time I visited GameStop, I picked up, they had that 4 for $20 deal. First game that I got was for the PS5 Deathloop. This one basically, the story reminds me so much kind of like Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, where you play an agent who gets trapped in a loop every day, and you have to kill these certain individuals in order to save the world. And yeah, very interesting story. This one caught my eye. The next one that I got, and of course, unfortunately, I don't have a cover. I made a fake cover for it, but I didn't have time to add it. And it's My Heroes 1's Justice 2 for the Xbox One. Now, since I have part 1, I wanted to get part 2, and they were going for really cheap. So I got part 2 now. Basically, these are fighter games based on the My Hero Academia anime. So yeah, looking forward to play those. I'm not into fighters, but those actually caught my eye. So yeah, another game that caught my eye a long time ago, and I got it, was Prison Architect for the PS4. Basically, you build your own prison and you manage your own prison. I read online in this game, I guess a lot of people say it's a really fun game. So you run your own prison. Yeah, and yeah, really cool. Looking forward to play this one. And then finally on that particular day, the fourth game that I got for the deal was Torment Ties of Numerina. Numenera, sorry, for the PS4. Basically, this is action RPG. Basically, from what I learned is that this was a Kickstarter game that got a lot of funds in Kickstarter, and basically I got it with everything included, with the maps and whatnot, and it comes with a soundtrack. So I grabbed all the freebies that it comes with it. So this one's very interesting. It reminds me of Diablo, but I don't know if it plays like Diablo. It's like an overhead action RPG game. It looks interesting. It caught my eye. And then of course I finally got all the games that I ordered the month before. All of these are homebrew games / repros. And then one of the first ones that I got was Life on Mars for the Sega Genesis. Now, remember I mentioned Life on Earth earlier a few minutes ago. This is actually the beginning. The other one is like the sequel or like the spiritual successor. The stories link up because in Life of Mars, this is actually a Metroidvania. You go in and explore a Mars facility that has been abandoned and taken over by robots and other things. And you got to go in there and explore to see what was going on. So basically, this game will link up with the other one. However, it's different. The gameplay's similar, like kind of like you run and gun shoot, but it's a Metroidvania. This one worked on my AtGames console, but it did not work on my Retron 5. It went backwards. So yeah, this one worked, and I played it a little bit, and it's pretty fun. Next one is another repro cartridge that it worked on everything. And this is one of my favorite games for the Genesis. An expensive game to own. Excuse me. And it's a homebrew, of course. Not a homebrew, it's a repro. And that's Castlevania Bloodlines for the Genesis. Very, very fun game. One of my favorite Castlevania games out there. I know a lot of people like Castlevania 4, Super Castlevania 4 on the SNES. I love that one. I love Rondo of Blood. I love Castlevania. But in the Genesis, I thought that this was very interesting and fun. So got that one. And of course, also got, this is more of a homebrew. This one worked. I said this one worked on everything. So all my consoles, it worked. Ninja Gaiden for the Genesis. Now, this is kind of like a homebrew game. The gameplay, they say it's a beat 'em up, which is different. I thought it was going to be similar to the original Ninja Gaiden, but it's not. The cover is the same, but it's a different game. But it's a beat 'em up this time. And of course, this one, I believe it worked on everything as well. This one, I didn't have a problem with my AtGames or my Retron 5. And then finally, another repro for the Genesis. I own this one for the Nintendo Switch. I got it not long ago, but I wanted to get it. It's Gargoyles for the Genesis. My repro cart. Really cool game. It's basically based on the cartoon of the same name. It's an action platformer. And the game does play on my AtGame system, but it didn't play on my Retron 5. This one didn't do it. So yeah, kind of weird. I think it's of the graphics or something. Maybe it just didn't do it well. But yeah. And then the next game I got two games for the NES, some repros. This is based on a Famicom game, Ninja Cat for the NES. Unfortunately, I thought this one was going to be in English, but it was in Japanese. But it's a fun game based on an anime. Something called Pizza Cat, Ninja, I don't know. But it's a really fun game. Reminds me a lot, similar to kind of like games like Mega Man or something like that. You got different characters. You select them to do different things. As an action platformer, really fun game. My daughter was playing this one with me at my parents' house one day. And she kind of liked it. And she kind of got the hang of it a little bit. and she was enjoying her playing this game when I put it on the console. And then this other one, now this one worked. Didn't I believe this one worked on my Retron 5, but it didn't. It kind of didn't show the name of it. And this one also worked on my Retron 5, and this one is Jake and Silent Bob's Mall Brawl, I believe. This was a game that came out in limited run. For the limited run, came out on different consoles on the Nintendo Switch. As you can see, limited run. I got it in a black cover. Looks really off the hook. I like it. And this one's fun. It's a beat 'em up. Reminds me of River City Ransom style gameplay. So this one's fun. Yeah. And that was what arrived from the mail that I was waiting from last month. On to the next one that I bought. This one's a rarity that I got. I kind of remember the show. I do remember this game. At one point, I thought I owned the game where I played it, but I guess I was wrong. And that is Family Dog for the SNES. This one's based on a cartoon that came out in the early 90s of this little dog who was terrorized by the whole family. Very little nervous wreck of a dog. And this one you play, as you can see right here, the kid is really mean to him. He's a bully to the dog. But the game is really, actually, I played it for a little bit, and it's pretty interesting. What does it say here? Pam's? Oh, Pam, your phone number? Shit, it's mine now. But yeah, this is funny. I love, whenever I see cartridges with something like this, it just makes me laugh because it's like a phone number. I mean, y'all go ahead and try it. It ain't for me, but I'm cool. If you guys want to go call Pam, there you go. Fun game. And then now these next set of games, I got 4 games. So one of these days I had a training in San Jose. And in San Jose there's this retro game store called Game World. For those who are from this side of the Bay Area, from like my side, where I live at, west side of the Bay, San Mateo, Redwood City, San Jose, this whole area. In San Jose, there's this really well-known retro game store called Game World. Now, it's been many years. It's not been many years. It's been a really long time since I visited the store. But when I went there after work, after I was done with my meeting, with my training, because it was close by it, I thought it was closed down. And I come to find out that they extended the store. They made it way bigger, like triple the size that it was before. They opened it up really nice. And now they sell like other things like toys, Pokemon cards, Transformers. I saw Pokemon toys, t-shirts. I saw a bunch of stuff other than video games. And this place, I've known this place of being one of the main places where they have a lot of rarities. In there, I saw a copy of PlayStation 2's Dot Hack Quarantine Part 4. That game is one of the games that I'm looking for because I have Part 1, 2, and 3, and it's a very expensive game to own. Very expensive. They had an unopened copy, and they were selling it for a lot of money. Saw other games that were expensive too. But the one thing I will tell you when you go in there, and I read this in a Yelp as well, that the people there, they price the games on some of them, and then they'll go higher than the price that they have on the cartridge that they put. That's really sneaky. I didn't like that. They did that with that game Quarantine. I kind of peeked when they turned the game. I noticed that it said something like 100. I have good eyesight when it comes to looking far away. So I'm farsighted. So I noticed that in the sticker it said $125 while he was looking at it on his phone, like I guess looking at eBay, and he said it was like over $200. I'm like, oh, dude, you're trying to swindle me. But just be careful when you go here. Other than that, the people are very nice. They're really good people. But that I did not like. But when I went there, I got 4 games, and some of them, there were games that I was looking for. I got this game, and this is one that it caught my eye after seeing a review on it recently, and I've always seen it forever since I was a kid, and that's Blades of Steel for the NES. It's like a arcade hockey game. Looked really fun when I saw it, and I played it a little bit, and I had a lot of fun with it. So I got that one. Then this is one that I was looking for a really long time. Really, really long time. A game from my youth that I really love. One of my favorite baseball games. Not only mine, but my cousins as well as my friends. And that's Baseball Stars for the NES. Love this game. This game reminds me so much of when I was a kid. I would get this game, pop it out with my friends and my family when we would play it. Really fun game. Maybe I'll do a review on this one soon. This is something I really want to review because out of all the baseball games that I play, like Bases Loaded and other games, for some reason I always gravitate to this one. And there's another one, the one with the robots. It's also made from Konami. Cyber Wars or I forgot the name of it, but it's a baseball game with robots. But I like this one better. And then another game I was looking for because I really like this arcade game, Burger Time for the NES. Really fun puzzle arcade game. Although it says, see how it says $12.99? Well, he gave me all of these three for $20, which was a really good price. But then I saw another game that caught my eye that I've been wanting for a really long time. That it's an expensive game to own, but he gave it to me cheaper because I bought these. And that is Donald Duck Going Quackers for the N64. Really back cover. That's probably why he gave me a good price on it. But this is a game I've been looking for a long time. And I know that this one went a lot in price. It wasn't that expensive, and all of a sudden it went higher. So I got all these games for a decent price. Say about $50 for everything, which to me was good. 20, and then they sold me this one for like 30. I looked online the day that I bought it, and it was going for about that price. So I can't say I got swindled in my book for these. So I think these were probably the most expensive pile of games that I bought over everything else. But at least these were games that I was really looking for. So yes. And then of course another game that I received that I was waiting for. Now I'm gonna tell you the story about this one. So I bought this game on eBay for super cheap, right? I ordered it, and apparently it said it was gonna arrive home. It was gonna arrive to my home, and then all of a sudden it went all the way to, what was it, Florida, to a different state, and we were like, me and my girlfriend were like, what? And it went to it traveled through it went cross country when the seller actually was from like, I believe he was like from Stockton or somewhere in the area here, which is local, like about an hour away from here, for it to travel all the way cross country, come back. It took weeks to get, but that's Crayon Shin-Chan for the SNES. It's kind of like a I want to say a beat 'em up platformer. If you see the games, kind of like the one I showed you with Jake and Silent Bob, like, you know, River City Ransom and that style, where it's like a overhead action like that. But yeah, and this is a game I've been wanting to get for a long time. It's not an expensive game. It's rather cheap. You could get it super cheap out there, but I wanted to get it, you know, and I got it. But this is a game that went cross country. It took a trip in its own, but I finally got it. So seller was really cool, really nice person. So yeah, and then finally I went to GameStop. Got myself some more of those 4 for $20 games, but before I bought the 4 for $20 pile, I bought this game for 90 cents, Battlefield 1, for the Xbox One, and it's basically like a first-person shooter. I didn't know, but this is based in World War One, I believe. And when I found out that it was a World War One game, World War One and World War Two stuff, as you guys know, really fascinates me. So yes, I am looking forward to play this one and see how this one goes. Yeah, and see how that one goes. But then, as part of the 4 for $20 deal, I got a couple of decent looking games. First one, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order for the PS4. This game, it caught my eye, but not only that. Ooh, does it have a... Okay, no. Does it have a code? You sure? No, it doesn't have a code. Sorry. It just says join now. See, it says join now. basically, this is what I learned, that this is a action adventure game, but it's a Metroidvania style game. I'm like, what? When I learned, and it caught my eye even more. So I'm looking forward to it. Supposedly the story takes place like 5 years after Star Wars Episode 3. So it looks interesting. This is one that I really want to see what goes on. Another one that caught my eye, and I learned that this was part of a, well, of course it's part of a series, but it caught my eye, is this one, Crackdown 3 for the Xbox One. Basically, you are this agent, I believe. It's supposed to be like a sequel. Like, there's other games that came out on it, but it's like a first, I don't know if it's a action game type game, but yeah, it caught my eye. I looked it up, I researched it, and the story was interesting. So yeah, let's see how this one goes. Another one that I had my eye on for a really long time, and I'm not really a fan of these style of games, but maybe this is the one that's based on World War One. No, this is also based on World War Two, or right after. Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. This is a first-person shooter. Now, I'm not really a fan of first-person shooters, but I can't say I have played a few that were okay. But, it caught my eye. It's been catching my eye for a long time. But now I want to get the first one because of the story, because it continues after part 1. So, yeah, and then finally, an RPG game that caught my eye too, where it's, I believe, like an open world RPG. It's called Biomutant for the Xbox One. Yeah, it's like it's kind of like post-apocalyptic style open world RPG, and you get to build your own Biomutant character or whatnot. Look very interesting. So yeah, and that's what I got in video games. And then finally this weekend, I went to my DD's discount. So I try not to buy a lot of these, but this one really caught my eye because I love Donald Duck. He's one of my favorite Disney characters. And I found a Donald Duck 100th anniversary Target Con exclusive there for $4.99. Yeah, and it looked really, I love the packaging, like how it glitters. Really cool. Yeah, and it's Donald Duck. Classic Donald Duck, Yup. So that's what I got. Yeah, I'll put you right there. And that was my haul for June 2024. Really interesting little haul of games. For next month, I am gonna be doing a game. Gonna be reviewing Transformers for sure. There's gonna be Transformer reviews coming up. I'm gonna start doing more Transformer reviews and give the game. Also do video game reviews like I normally done, but Transformer reviews are ones that I was doing for a while, then I stopped, and now I'm gonna do again. So yeah, I got a couple that I'm gonna shell out within the next couple of months coming up. I have a couple of videos already done. There's also gonna be a gameplay of a game, a review of a game that my friends and I loved. That's what I'm gonna say, and it's coming out real soon. And I want to do probably during next month, and I really want to review that game. And then also another let's compare game that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. And of course, I'll be doing a review, which is probably the one that's gonna be coming after this video, of a game that beat my ass. It beat my ass. I played it religiously for a month and a half at least, and God, it was a game that I thought I was gonna beat like in the next couple of days. No, this was a game that really kicked me in the ass. And that one particular game, I'm gonna be reviewing it next week. And you guys are gonna see this one, and please, it's a game that I don't think a lot of people know about. It's a very rare game, but it was a very interesting one. So that's coming up next week. But anyways, I'll leave you with this. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, for watching. Hope you guys enjoy my videos. I thank you so much for subscribing again and commenting, down below and letting me know. Correct me anytime you guys want to correct me. Sometimes my brain, I'm having a lot of a lot of forgetfulness. I try my best to remember stuff, but if you don't, if not, I'll always put it in the comments below, or I'll correct myself. But thank you so much guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.